this series, we're talking about how you can be legally and ethically using AI-generated content to help you build out the backstories, the behind-the-scenes, the world building, your character development for your stories to make sure you are helping yourself and not hindering yourself inside of the publishing world with what you legally and ethically can and cannot be doing. Today, we are talking all about how you can be using ChatGPT or another AI generator source for creating your villain's backstory. So we are talking all about what led up to your villain becoming the villain inside of your story, what things happened in the past, what is their history, what is the backstory, and what are those things that led them step by step to the point they are inside of the start of your story. Let's take a look at how to do it. As with all artificial intelligence generators, it learns from what you've done in the past. So you want to make sure you're giving as much information as possible. You don't necessarily have to repeat yourself, especially if it's part of the same conversation or similar conversations. But keep in mind that once you're giving it information, it is learning from that. And we have to make sure we're giving it enough information to put an adequate output out to us. So if we are then creating something so that we understand who our villains were before they became the villains, we have to give enough information. If you're brand new to this, I always start with letting the AI know what I am, what I do, what I write. So I'm very clear about what type and what style of things that I write. You don't have to necessarily repeat yourself if this is not your first rodeo with this one. Then we go into a prompt where we're talking about what we're going to need. So I specifically said, I need a backstory for my villain for my novel. In the novel, she is an evil queen who is trying to steal the princess's crown because she is jealous. This is apparently going to be a Snow White retelling. I don't necessarily want to say that because what I found is if I'm doing a retelling and I give it a specific thing that I'm retelling, it kind of leans heavily into what's already known, and I want a little bit of information that is not known. So we can see I've kind of gone a little vague on this for a reason to test this one out. I go on to say, a major point of contention is that she feels that the princess is prettier than her, but that's not the only reason she's trying to ruin the princess. For this backstory history, I need to know significant things that happened from childhood to age 36, where the story starts, that tells me why she went from the normal daughter of a duke and duchess to a dark-hearted villain in the story. So I'm very clearly saying what I need from you. I want to know significant things that happened from her childhood to a certain age. So I've given it limits, I've given it parameters, and it's going to tell me why she went from a normal child of somebody who is privileged to a dark-hearted villain inside of the story. I go on to say, please include 7 major reasons. I've given it a number. I've given it more information about what I want. I could have left it with that paragraph and it probably would have come up with things, but the more information I can give it, the better it's going to do. So please include 7 major reasons involving people who are important betraying her, some of whom could be friends, former lovers, mentors, and even prominent figures in the community that she's not connected or as much connected to, but impacts her and her family. So I've given it, again, more parameters. The more information I can feed it, the more specific it's going to be, or at least the more intentional it's going to be as it gives me back information. I then say, be detailed with names and how the people are connected to her, because what I found is it gives us very vague information. I'm asking for histories on things in all the other videos, and if you haven't watched those, make sure you do. It's giving me vague information. Now that's great because I, as an author, can then come in and fill in some blanks. I can add things in, but if I don't want to do all that work, or if I want to be able to do more intentional work, I then have the ability to give it more information, such as friends, former lovers, mentors, and prominent figures in the community. These are the things I want you to do. Give me a group combination of these different things so it's not all, oh, it was so hard, people betrayed her and she lost her parents, and it's kind of on the vague side. So the more I can give it, the more it will give back to me. And I said, be detailed with the names and how people are connected to her. So if they say, well, the Duchess of wherever, who is her aunt or who is a friend of the family, betrayed her by bringing the daughter in and all of the things, it can then give me more information, which I can then tweak. I then end by saying it needs to be 10 paragraphs or more long. I'm giving it, again, parameters, more information I can give it. I can give this a lot more information. It's going to give me a lot more back. But within these parameters, it's going to think about, it's going to start creating what we've got going on here. Oh, we've got a nice name. So Lady Evelyn Delacourt was born into a life of privilege as the, and sometimes it's going to go really fast for you, so we're just going to scroll back up while it's working. Here we go. Born into a life of privilege as the daughter of the Duke and Duchess of Crestwood, a prominent noble family in the kingdom. Her early years were filled with love and warmth, surrounded by opulence, loves the word opulence, and the adoration of her parents. However, darkness lurked beneath the surface of her seemingly perfect life, and it gradually shaped her into the vengeful villain she would become. Now we get bullet points. So I, in past conversations, have asked it for bullet points. It's not giving me bullet points, but it is giving me 1, 2, 3. It's giving me a list, which is again, learning from what I have done in the past. So now tell me what's going on. The betrayal of her childhood friend, Lady Amelia Ravenscroft. Lady Amelia, who had been Evelyn's closest companion since they were young girls, secretly envied her beauty and charisma. In a cruel act of betrayal, Amelia spread rumors about Evelyn and tarnished her reputation and isolated from her social circles. Okay. A heartbreak from her first love, Lord Alexander Hawthorne. Oh my goodness, Lord Alexander was a charming nobleman, and we go on from there. Manipulation by her mentor. So I gave it a list. It's giving me a list back. The more you give it and the way that you say it is how it's going to do it. If you do not like that, if you wanted it more in a story, you can ask for the story. I kind of asked for a list, so it's giving me a list, but you can see point by point by point. Oh no, oh no. If you look at point number 4, her father abandons her. Oh my goodness. Now, the things that I like and the things that I don't like, I can actually handpick. I can go in and say, okay, I like this, I don't like this. What I recommend that you do is you copy and paste this, put it in a Word doc or a Google Doc. Now go in and fix things. Whatever you don't like, delete. If you like something, but it's not exactly what you want, change it. In fact, if you want to use this in any way, shape, or form to kind of inform what you were doing, change the things, change the names, change the locations, change how things work. You can mix things up, but this gives you a good baseline for kind of Tetrising what you want to do for this villain's backstory. Remember, with backstories, this isn't really making it into the book. You can kind of refer to these things, but this is part of your character Bible. So this is how we learn how our character became who they are inside of the story. Now, we've done this for our characters. We've done this for our side characters. We're doing this for our villains. We've got the works in here, and we're going to continue on with this series. So follow along for more if you like ideas for how you can be using this in your publishing platforms, in your publishing life, so that it can save you time and effort, but not get you in legal trouble, because we know with the court systems, there's a lot going on with the world of copyright and trademarking and AI generated content. This gives you a really good starting point for things that don't actually go word for word into your book or are getting reworded, because again, you can't copyright any of the things that you are taking from here. So let's just say I liked this, and I took a paragraph and then I reworded it. I could not put that in my book and have it copyrighted, protected. And we know with the court cases, it's all over the place. It could take away the copyright for my entire book. It could take away the copyright for that part of the book. It's a whole conversation we're having with a lawyer here on the platform. So follow along with that playlist as we discuss as these court cases come up, so you know exactly what you're doing. But you can see I get this list here that I can then use to inform what I have going on here. So now that I've got this nice long list and I could go through all of these things, and it gave me 7 different points. Stepsisters? Oh wow. Oh my gosh, can we just look at this for a second? Because I'm actually pretty impressed with this. We've skipped over a lot of this, but point 6 is a rivalry with stepsisters. Her mother passed. Her father remarried. So she was betrayed by her father, but then he remarried. Like, this is going well. This is going well, you guys. Oh my gosh, this is very interesting. I actually want to read through all of this and see if I can use this somewhere, because this is a pretty good backstory. But when we get through all of these things, it kind of ends with these 7 significant betrayals orchestrated by individuals close to Evelyn molded her into the malevolent queen she would become. Over time, her heart filled with a dark and all-consuming hatred, not only toward those who have wronged her, but toward the entire kingdom that allowed such injustices to occur. Driven by her thirst for power, her envy of the princess, and her desire for revenge, Evelyn set her sights on stealing the princess's crown, believing it would finally bring her the satisfaction and validation she craved. My actual goodness. We're getting good here with this AI. So now I want to say I need a timeline list of everything that happened with the ages it happened at. Now it's going to think for a second. It's going to take all the things that it's given me, whether it is in story form or it is in list form like this, and they are going to pop out this timeline. So now we've got age 8, age 16, age 18, 22, 26, 29, 34, because I did say all the way to 36. So not bad, not bad. But we've got all of this information. Now let's say I didn't like some of this. I could either copy and paste it and change it. So maybe age 34 is too close to age 36 when this story happens. Maybe she just needs to be a bit younger for this. Maybe this happens at age 30. I can either just fix it myself, or I can say age 34 is too late for this to be happening. Can you work this in earlier in her timeline? And it would reconstruct this for us. So now I've got all of these bullet points. I'm going to say I need a list of the people who betrayed her and their ages, ranking in the kingdom, and when they first appeared in her life, as well as the age she was when they betrayed her. And look at the information that it's going to come up with for me. We're going through all of these things. We have the information about each of the characters, age 16, age 8, when they're popping in, their ranking in here, renowned, respected, armament. I don't even know what some of these things are. This is so interesting. So it's coming up with all of this information that I can then use. All of this I can keep in a list later on. I can then go, I need physical descriptions for each of these people. And I didn't even spell everything right, but it's going to know what I said, and it's going to go ahead and pop these out. Slowly. It's going to very slowly. Physical descriptions of each of these. Oh, we got them. Here we go. It's just a little slow. Sometimes it has to think about it. Here we go. So we're getting information about her. It is putting it into a bullet point list. We've got long golden curls that cascade down her back. Oh, and we don't even just have like a bullet point list. It goes into her sapphire blue eyes sparkle with mischiefs framed by long lashes. She possesses a delicate feature, graceful in her moves. Her porcelain skin is flawlessly fair, and her rosy lips are... Is it describing me? That's so funny. Oh my goodness. I do have the long golden curls. They go down my back, not today, but I usually do. And the blue eyes and the porcelain skin, I'm pretty sure that was looking at me when I wrote this, which probably isn't great because she betrayed her. Wow. We got a lot going on here. So we've got all of the information on physical descriptions. Wow. Look at this. And then if you don't like something, you could go in and say, Lord Roland Delacourt needs to have darker hair to match his daughters or something like that, whatever you need to do. Ooh, there was an error generating the response. So now we're going to click on regenerate the response and let it do it again. So if there was some kind of glitch or something going on, it's just going to go ahead and it's going to fix it. This will allow you to then go in and get those character descriptions. You can learn about the past, and most of these characters aren't even going to show up in the book itself. This way I know what's going on. I can refer back to it. I can say, well, is she actually going to make the decision that I think she's going to make inside of the story based on what she's done in the past, if that's part of my character Bible? It allows me to kind of go back into it. Oh, they changed it. You guys, they full out changed it because Lady Amelia is not the same anymore. So you could say try again, and it's going to do things differently. It is going to come up with different things every time, so it's very interesting how you do this. Now, from here, you can go back up. We're just going to scroll back up for a minute while it's generating this, because I want to point out that you can also be asking clarifying questions. That's a really important thing to be mindful of. So let's see. So in this first one here, we have the ability to go in and say, what did Lady Amelia Ravenscroft do to spread rumors, or what rumors did she spread about her? So let me go back down. Let's see if it finished generating that content. It's still writing, so we're going to give it just a second. But I would go in and I would ask clarifying questions. What rumors did she spread? So let's ask the questions now. In an act of betrayal, she spread a series of rumors. Rumors included false romantic affairs. She was 8. She was 8 years old, so sometimes it's going to be a little bit weird. Insinuated immoral practices. She was 8 at the time. Try again. Let's see what happens. Apologies for the oversight. Some more age-appropriate things. There we go. Better. So we have an error. We now can fix it. Stolen possessions, schoolyard pranks, cheating in the competitions, unkind remarks, exaggerated boasting. There's a lot of things that you can be doing to ask those clarifying questions. Cheating in competitions. What competitions? Competitions did she supposedly cheat in? considering the young age of 8, now it's caught on. So we've corrected it and said, okay, we're going to handle it. It's going to be fine. And so now it's going to go through. Woo, that's a lot. That's a lot of things that, man, this little girl is a liar, but we've got a lot of great things in here that will now allow us to continue to ask questions and we can develop those backstories. If you would like a video, a follow-up video on this, on specific prompts you can feed to ChatGPT or another AI generator so you can specifically get your villain's backstory answered with questions that you should be asking, I've got a whole bunch of them. I'm happy to make a follow-up video. Let me know down below. And if you have questions on how you can be ethically and legally using AI inside of what you're doing in your author life, now's the time to drop those questions. We are following this up with a continuation of the series to help you use things on the legal and the ethical side. Remember, we do have the playlist with a lawyer, a professional lawyer who teaches the law to other lawyers and who is following along with these court cases so we know when we can, when we can't, how things are changing in the world of AI generated content. Remember, you can't copyright anything that you are getting from an AI generator, even if you're tweaking it. You cannot be using it for like your book covers, etc. Even the book distributor platforms are shutting those things down. So be very mindful of how you're using AI. We want to do it legally. We want to do it ethically. And we're showing you how here in the playlist, as well as daily videos to help you level up inside of your publishing career so this can be your most profitable year ever. We'll see you in the upcoming episodes.